Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters Encounters video. I thought I would mix this one in here while I'm continuing to do your Mysteries and Oddities video, mainly because this entry actually ties into a cryptid that I've talked about in the past. It's been about maybe 5 or 6 years, but anything involving the Kushtaka, which is a shape-shifting creature of sorts from Alaskan mythology. This was a creature that I chronicled those years back, and lo and behold, this particular encounter apparently has to do with it as well. So if you haven't had a chance to see my Kushtaka video, I'll include the link for it below. It'd be a great way to see some of that history, but in this case, this comes from a reddit.com website. They're actually under skinwalkers, but they ended up being an encounter essentially with the Kushtaka itself. So let's go ahead and let's share that entry here, and then I'll give my own thoughts and opinions on it afterward. So here's what they stated. By the way, this comes from a user called Wilder Guide, and they titled theirs as Encounter with a Kushtaka. So here's what they said. Okay, so this happened to my wife a couple of years ago. We live in Southeast Alaska, where there is a mythical creature that is known to roam the forest called a Kushtaka or Otterman. They're similar to the Bigfoot of the Pacific Northwest, but legend has it that if you encounter one, it will shapeshift into someone you know and try to lure you into its lair. My wife was running down a trail with our 2 dogs in a local park. She had made 3 laps and was going on her 4th when our dogs suddenly stopped in the trail and started growling at something off in the woods, like really snarling. Our dogs are well behaved, so this was very abnormal for them to do. She walked forward, looking into the woods, trying to see what they were barking at, and so she rounded a corner, and there was a man standing about 40 foot off the trail. She had never seen this man in her life. He was dressed as if he was homeless. His hair was long and dirty, and his face was hidden by mats of hair. And so after standing for a while, the man knelt down behind the log and was out of sight. Suddenly, out flew a bald eagle from where this man had been just standing. As soon as the man and the eagle had disappeared, our dogs were completely fine. They returned to their normal, happy selves. And so we spent the next couple of weeks researching Otterman and trying to understand more about it. We talked to some local Tlingit elders about the experience. Their interpretation of what happened is that the Otterman was trying to teach my wife some kind of lesson. To this day, we have no idea what that lesson could have been. And then that's it. It's a short and sweet entry, but that's everything that Wilder Guide stated with their encounter. So let's go ahead and let's comment on that here. For starters, again, check out the video, the link below, in case you want more information on the Kushtaka/Otterman. But they basically hit the points with this encounter here. Number one, it is found there in Alaska, and it is, as I mentioned earlier, a mythological creature, one that has been there for who knows how long. It does indeed also shapeshift. In fact, it shapeshifts into other animals, into other people, sometimes actually even into people that are recognized by the very people they're facing. So in other words, friends, family members, or whomever that is being encountered by the Kushtaka. Where things differ, though, is this, and it's hard to say what happened in this situation. Obviously, the theory was by those elders that this Kushtaka, that this Otterman was trying to teach some kind of lesson. But if you follow whatever theories there are as far as the Kushtaka, it's that either A, they're good beings, like in other words, they're there to help people. In some cases, it'll be where they help people that are lost or about to get lost, and so they prevent them from having any bad things happen to them out there in that type of territory. Or B, they actually do great harm to people. Like in other words, there's tales of mimics of cries of a baby or something else, like a person that they recognize, which causes the person to get lost and then go to a specific spot where the Kushtaka is hiding, and then bam, that's it. They actually eat them, shred them, kill them, and so on, just to make sure that this is the far end of it being, let's say, a very evil creature. But otherwise, you have to pick your guess when it comes to this encounter. There it was, basically standing in front of this woman it seemed like it was almost purposeful, right? When it comes to that wife that was out there running into the woman, the dogs gave a good indication ahead of time. Obviously, animals have that very nice sense of almost preternatural sense when it detects something out of the ordinary or something dangerous, but it specifically made its appearance in front of the wife. And so when that happened, it knelt down behind the log, and then the next moment it shape-shifted into a bald eagle. Why would it do that? That made me scratch my head too. Just like this couple not knowing what the lesson was, doesn't seem like it stands out here too. I'd love to hear what your theories are with regards to this. Why would it stand in front of the wife about 40 feet away from her, and then why would it kneel down to shapeshift into something else? I mean, why would it do that practice anyway? Why not just shapeshift in front of the woman herself? Why did they have to kneel down somewhere else? I don't know. It's a bizarre thing, but luckily it didn't seem like this was one of the bad encounters, like in terms of trying to kill someone. It looks like it could have had that opportunity well ahead of time. But now in this case, it just simply left. Why was it a homeless person too? That's something else that stood out of the ordinary. Or who knows, maybe there is a strange coincidence and all of a sudden there were both a homeless person and a bald eagle in that same spot, and we're just mixing things up with the Kushtaka, but I don't think so. That's way too far out there when it comes to that. Those elders giving their local experience as to the matter, they've immediately pinpointed it to that. So I tend to believe them more along those lines. But let me know what your comments are below. Interesting encounter with this Kushtaka / Otterman. Good follow-up when it comes to featuring a cryptid from who knows a couple of years back and then having a real encounter here. That's the kind of stuff that I look for whenever I go to these type of cryptid encounters. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care.